Welcome to my second take of recording this stupid fucking video. Welcome to the Album Spotlight Show episode 2. In this episode, we're going to be talking about one of the greatest pieces of ambient music ever created. It's Boards of Canada. Music has the right to children. Look at those children and the rights to music that they have. As always, we're going to stick the album on the wall, just like that. And it's going to stay there on the wall behind us while we talk about the album. So the album was released in 1998 under Scam Records and under Warp Records. It's considered their debut album, even though they've made like 10 albums before this one. But a lot of the songs in this album are from their previous albums. They just put them all into this one album. This is our actual first album, you know, that's what they did. So let's get right into the songs. The album opens with Wildlife Analysis, and honestly, they have better opening tracks. This one is probably, honestly, their worst one. I feel like every other album they've made, every other album's opening track is better than this one, but it is still a good track, and it fits really well with this album. The song nicely fades into the next track, which is An Eagle in Your Mind, and honestly, this is a weird first real song. The drums are quite aggressive in it, and they're very glitchy, and like if you, as a neutral person, you listen to it, you're either going to be like, oh, this is cool, or you're going to be like, oh, this is weird. I feel like they might have done that on purpose though, so that anyone that doesn't like this kind of music will just immediately be like off put, and they're like, no, I'm not going to give this album the light of day. So they might have just used the song as like a filter to say like, if you like this first song, you're going to love the rest of the album. If you don't like this song, you might as well not even bother with the album. After Eagle in Your Mind, we get the first vignette of the album. They love doing that, by the way. The whole album is just packed with, it's like long songs, and then there's like a short minute-long song that's just like a short idea they had, basically. But this one is The Color of Fire, and it's a dreamy synth piece. And it has like a child that's like trying to say I love you and like struggling. It's like he keeps going like I love you. Like he can't figure out how to say it. Some say that this album is about childhood, or like childlike innocence, or you know, growing up as a child. And so this could be about like learning love as I don't know. There's a couple interesting theories about the album, but I don't pay too much attention to them. But you know, it's a big deal to some people, but to me, I'm more about the music. At the end, the kid does actually successfully say I love you, and then the song almost like congratulates him. It more like the song acknowledges that he says it. It's like the whole song is like a test, and then when he finally says it correctly, the song is like, good, we can move on now. Then we get Telephasic Workshop, which is another weird glitchy song that's similar to Eagle in Your Mind. And I honestly don't have too much to say about this track. It is good, don't get me wrong, but I find it to be one of their more mundane tracks. Like, they just kind of take a beat and they take a melody, and then they just kind of have that for the entirety of the song for like 6 minutes. It is a good song, as I said, but it's not one that I would seek out to listen to specifically. A ways into the song, the beat does get accompanied by some chopped up, glitchy voice samples that just pretty much follow the pattern of the beat. And that part is done really well. I do like that part a lot. But overall, the whole song is just kind of like, yeah, it's okay. And then we get Triangles and Rhombuses. It's another short track, and I really like this song. And it has more or less the same principle as Eagle in Your Mind and Telephasic Workshop, where it's like, here's a little melody that we came up with, and that's all it is for the whole song. Also, it has the classic melody that you kind of hear throughout all of Boards of Canada's discography. Like every so often, you're just like, I know that little melody. Like they sprinkle it everywhere. It's if you want to hear just the melody, it's called It's Too Orangey. And I believe it was originally on their album, which is called Random 35 Track Tape. 6010 is the first track on the album that I can say that I love. The song is mysterious until the beat comes in, and then it's just like a solid jam the whole way through. The glitchy drums paired with the stretched, spliced up vocal samples that just keep going for the whole whole song is really just hits me just right. Turquoise Hexagon Sun has to have my favorite drum line in the whole album, and there's kind of not much more to say about it than that, honestly. I don't know how much the song has a meaning, but it doesn't really matter. I think it's just a good song they wanted to put on the album. And I don't mean this in a bad way, but it's like yet again another song where they just kind of came up with a rhythm, with a melody and a drum loop, and they just kind of play it for the entire song. But it's just one that I like. It's just one that gets me just right. By this point in the album, the songs have kind of relaxed a little bit more. The album starts with the songs being a lot more glitchy and the drums being more aggressive, and then as the album goes on, it kind of mellows out, and by the end it gets pretty relaxing, and there's just kind of like it's just flowing by the end. Next up we get two vignettes. Well, I don't know why I put up one finger. Next up we get two vignettes in a row. The first one is Kanye Industries. Kanye Industries is reportedly named after a company that was formed in Canada in the year that Mike was born. I didn't even mention what the band is. Boards of Canada is a duo. It's two brothers in a van. Two brothers from Scotland who briefly in their childhood moved to Canada, and they watched a lot of the National Film Board of Canada nature films. And Canada boards, the boards of Canada, that's how they came up with the name. It's two brothers, Mike Sanderson and Marcus Ion. I don't know. It's Scottish. I don't speak Scottish. But anyway, the song, Kanye Industries, the song, it's kind of got two parts. The first part is just kind of a jam on a single synthesizer, and then, oh my god. And then the second half is like, it sounds like a sample of some like Native American drumming with some flutes over top of it. They might have put the flutes in themselves. They've used flutes in the past and in the future, in the time of some. And so I'm not really sure what's a sample, what isn't, but it's just this short little, it's like 20 seconds long. It's just like this little fluty and distant drumming, and it's like, okay, I guess I'll listen to that. The second vignette is Bokuma, yet another name that I don't know how to pronounce. Bokuma, B-O-C-U-M-A, Bokuma, I think it's Bokuma. This song basically acts as just a build-up to the next song in the album, and it's another one that I would not really seek out to listen to, not just because it's so short, but it's the same kind of thing as some of the previous songs, where it's like, here's one thing for the entire song, and it's just like it works as a build up to the next song, but that's kind of it in my opinion. And then we get Roy G. Biv, which is their most popular song, and for good reason. It is, you know what? If you're watching this video right now, pause it and go listen to Roy G. Biv right now. It's only 2.5 minutes long. Even if you've heard it before, just go listen to it right now. Okay, assuming you've actually just listened to it and you've now come back, welcome back. Congratulations, you've now just listened to the greatest piece of music you've ever heard in your life. The song feels so starkly different to the rest of the album, but it doesn't feel out of place. It feels like a perfect interlude in the middle of the album. It makes you feel like you're exactly where you should be, no matter where you are. If you're listening to this song, it's like, this is good and this is where I should be. Like if you got murdered while listening to this song, you would just be like, this is good. This is where I should be. So after the album's interlude, you could say, you are brought back to your regularly scheduled programming of slightly anxious and looping glitchy beats over top of synth melodies. Rue the Whirl is another one of my favorite songs on the album and just in general. It's the first song that I put in my A Foggy Winter Day playlist. It's actually the reason I created the playlist, because it really feels like winter to me. It's slightly foreboding and like scary, while at the same time like reassuring you, letting you know you're gonna be fine, you're gonna get to where you're going on time. Kind of like driving in the Canadian winter. At around 3/4 of the way in, the song kind of breaks down and you get a different melody that could either represent you getting to your destination safely, or you've crashed your car and you're now delirious on the side of the road. Describing the song makes it feel like it's scary, but you have to remember that during this whole time, there's birds chirping over the song, so it has to be good, right? It has to be happy. Fun fact, the birds on the track were actually an accident, and they left the window in their studio open while they were recording it, and then they were like, the birds sound good, I guess, and then they kept it on. Up next is the Funny Fruit song.
Orange.
Aquarius, while being a massive meme, is also a really good song. It's got Groovy bass lines, got great drums, got perfect synth pieces, it's great.
Yeah, that's right.
And it even teaches you how to count.
60-10.
It's educational. The song actually has multiple versions, and I actually prefer the version 3, which is on their Peel session, more than the album one, because it's got that sample of At the Foot of the Master by Blue Aquarius, and I think it just adds so much to the main part of the song. Olsen's up next, and it's the most peaceful song on the album. It's way too short, and every time I listen to it, I always wish there was like just more of it. Apparently, it's named after a family friend of theirs, and they do this a lot. A lot of their music is very personal, and they put a lot of like personal references into it, which I think really boosts the quality of their music, because it shows that they care about it more, because it's personal to them. I don't even know if I know what to say about Olsen. It's another track that almost feels like it doesn't belong. It's just like all of a sudden out of nowhere you just get this beautiful piece that's just like, oh my god, what am I listening to? It's so beautiful. We're getting closer to the end of the album, and it's kind of starting to wrap it up. It's definitely a track of reflection, and it's like looking back on what you've experienced, basically, not just with the album, but you know, like your entire life. Pete Standing Alone is another track that reminds me of winter. This album it primarily feels like it's spring, but there's a couple tracks in here that remind me of winter, and again, this is another one. But I mean, I guess it could make sense because, you know, spring is after winter, and it's not just like a hard transition to spring. There's always a couple colder days, you know, leading into spring, so maybe it makes sense. But yeah, this one feels like winter. It feels like, especially the first 10 seconds, it feels like winter, because it feels like you are looking out over a frozen landscape in the early morning, an early sunny morning of winter. This is another track that more or less stays the same throughout the whole thing, which is kind of Boards of Canada's shtick. It just so happens that sometimes you really like what they did, and sometimes it just doesn't work. But this is a track that I do specifically seek out to listen to. While Pete Standing Alone feels like a sunny winter morning, Smoke's Quantity feels like a foggy, rainy, just downpour day. Like you've already had a bad day, and then it just starts raining on your way home as you're driving. As if the whole song is saying like, ugh, of course this is happening. The stretched out melody feels like the song is rolling its eyes the whole time. Despite that, it's still a song that I listen to regularly, because I find it pretty easy to like separate a song from its meaning and just listen to it as a good song. Now we reach the end of the album, and Open the Light feels like it's saying, forget everything you've just heard, we're in the end now, everything is fine. Like the hero at the end of a movie finally wins, and then he can finally rest knowing that he's succeeded. Because you know at the end of the day, however you feel, that tomorrow is going to be another day. Life will go on, and you could both be and find better things. Now that the show is over and we have jointly exercised our constitutional rights, we would like to leave you with one very important thought. Sometime in the future, you may have the opportunity to serve as a juror on a censorship case or a so-called obscenity case. It would be wise to remember that the same people that would stop you from listening to Boards of Canada may be back next year to complain about a book or even a TV program. If you can be told what you can see or hear, then it follows that you can be told what you can say or think. Defend your constitutionally protected rights. No one else will do it for you. Thank you. Officially, the album ends there, but there is actually, on the digital release, an extra song called Happy Cycling. I really wish that this song was included on the vinyl release of this album, because it really works as like a second ending to the album. It's like a perfect ending. It's a perfect like after show after the show is over. But since we finally have the Peel session from them released last year, we can finally listen to Happy Cycling on vinyl. So whenever I put on this song on vinyl, I always put this song on afterwards, because I'm frankly just used to listening to the digital one where it does have Happy Cycling at the end, but it just works so well as the last track. This song uses some really weird samples, like this stretched out, never-ending creepy choir singing in the background of the whole song, and the soothing sound of syncopated seagulls. The song is 7 minutes long, and it stays mostly the same throughout the whole thing. It's kind of a weird oxymoron where you have this like upbeat, happy rhythm and melody with this, creepy choir singing in the background. But at the 5 minute mark, it does finally change and you get like an actual melody and a bass line in there. But it's really worth the wait for that 5 minute mark, because once it gets to that part, it's just, why wasn't it on the vinyl? It's so good. And the way that song ends with just the new melody just slowly fading out at the end alone. If I heard this song and it wasn't on the album ever, I would have thought, man, this would have been a great ending of an album. So there we go, Boards of Canada's debut album, Music Has the Rights to Children. I love this album, it's beautiful, it's good, and it's their second best album. What's their best one, you ask? Well, I'm not going to spoil it now, that's going to be a future video. How did I end the last episode?